Today we are going to talk about this tank right here and this skull in particular. It is a real deer skull, but it has caused some issues in my tank and it's probably not what you think they are. All right guys, so let's start with just talking about the skull. So what's going on with this tank, which I'm going to show you here in a second, is my nitrites and my nitrates are basically through the roof. And I was still doing a cycle on it, so I was just kind of waiting it out for the 2-3 weeks ish that it takes to cycle a tank. But the nitrates and the nitrites were just a lot higher than they normally are, even in a tank that's without a skull basically. So I was just being patient. I was testing it. It was a theory of me putting it in here and the way I prepped it. I kind of did some light research, but I didn't do deep research on it, right? So my theory, even though this skull is extremely old, and that's the only reason why I kind of took this approach, is when I found this skull, it was literally on a roof when I was at work, on a 3-story roof that no one ever goes on. I have no idea how it got there, but I found it and I was like, dude, this thing has probably been here for who knows how many years. Look at it. It's been sun bleached. It had some algae on it. It's been there for years, right? It was part of the roof almost. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna scrub it, I'm gonna soak it in peroxide, I'm gonna scrub it again, I'm gonna sun bleach it, and we're gonna be good. But I think even with the sun bleaching, there was lipids or fat and the bone marrow that's in the skull, and underneath the skull here, the main part, there's a lot of little crevice bone area, and we're gonna scrape all that out. I'm gonna have another video on how I'm gonna prep it again so we can test it again. But I just think there were still fats and lipids, and right now basically what they're doing is leaching into the water. So yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. It should have been cycled by now. We're about at the 3-week mark, but we are going to show you, I'm going to show you the results of a test right now. And yeah, you can see how high the nitrites and nitrates are in this. And it's just wild because I was doing daily water changes and it was not helping. It would almost immediately go back to that. And basically what's happening on an aquarium or a science level is when you cycle a tank, ammonia gets turned into nitrite, nitrite gets turned into nitrate through beneficial bacteria. But my cycle never had enough time to build up because it was too much ammonia and nitrite getting leached into the tank due to the fats breaking down. And so that's why my nitrites and nitrates were spiked through the roof, because it was just even though there was beneficial bacteria, there was just a constant too much of an ammonia in there, and it was just constantly spiking everything, and it never had a chance to level out. Another thing that made me think this is my tank smells a little weird. Not like how when you mess up a tank real bad, but it doesn't smell right. None of my other tanks stink. They're all spotless. They're all clear. There's literally no issues in them, right? But this one smells weird, and that's every day, every time I do a water change, right? So that's where we're at now. Yeah, we're gonna have a separate video on how I'm going to prep it going forward. I did look up and I tried to do some deeper research on some sealants that you can buy to actually seal it, and I did find a couple options. So I found an aquarium co-op forum that was talking about Krylon fusion and how it potentially is aquarium safe once fully cured for a long period of time. So basically, when you cure it, personally for me, I would double the curing time of what it tells you to do. And then I would also do a soak test, and then I would probably put it in a tank with no fish at first with some Purigen activated carbon, and just cycle that for a month or two to leach all potential toxic chemicals out of the clear coat. But I did read that Krylon fusion is what I've seen that people have used, or hobbyists like Reddit and the aquarium co-op thing I found. Other than that, I think I want to try to do another one was they recommended a 2-part epoxy and, of course, 100% silicone. But the problem with those two, the epoxy I can see potentially working if you dip it. I can see that working actually. But I don't want to spend that much money to buy such a big thing of resin where I just dip it and then all that resin goes to trash, right? And with the silicone, it would be too hard to spread evenly. And over time, we know silicone doesn't end up looking too good the longer it's in the tank, right? It starts getting like the milky color. So I don't want that to be the skull. So what are we left with? Either I try the Krylon method, or I try to re-prep the skull, but really prep it. And that's what the next video is going to be about, on like exactly what I'm going to be doing and what I didn't do the first time, right? I think I was a little like, I was too jumpy on, I just wanted to build a tank with it. I was too excited, right? I couldn't think of the word, but I was basically too excited. I feel like maybe I rushed the process and didn't think it fully through. But yeah, so that's what's going on with this. We still need to break this tank down. It saddens me. Unfortunately, we also lost a pleco, and I will explain that right now as well. So I had a starlight pleco. I put them in here. I had some guppies in here. All the guppies are safe now. They're actually in that tank over there. And they just had babies, actually, which is fun. But with the pleco, unfortunately, we did lose him. His name was Cosmo. He was a starlight pleco. He was amazing. He was beautiful. I actually have a clip of him still, which I'll insert right now. Look at how gorgeous he is. I absolutely love him. Gorgeous starlight. So that's the new addition. I can't wait to get the tank set up. The tank actually is this one right here, but I'm not showing you guys. So what happened was, it was growing film, which I'll show you the film right now, all over the horns or the antlers and everywhere. And it was like this, like, I didn't know if it was biofilm or if it was because of the lipids or fats leaching out, which is my theory. But I basically didn't like it, and I did a really deep cleaning. And I think when I did the deep cleaning, what happened was I released a lot of that into the water column, and it stressed him out to the point where unfortunately he passed away. That is a newbie mistake that I should have known better. And again, it's a learning experience. Unfortunately, I had to come at the life of one of my plecos, which I liked very much, but it won't happen again. And I feel bad for Cosmo. I really do. That sucks, but it was a learning experience. It happens. Nobody's perfect. But yeah, that's what happened. And it's already growing back again. So I have a feeling when I start prepping it, I will have confirmation that there is lipids in there. Right now, it's a theory from the research I've been doing, and like how taxidermies prep their skulls for long-term storage, getting the lipids and fats out and stuff of that nature. Like, I really did my deep research this time and got some, like, it's still a theory for aquariums, but I got the best facts that I could so that I can experiment with it, and we can actually hopefully create a raw skull that will work in a fish tank. And this will be a really good video to basically save if you ever want to add, you know, like any sort of skull or bone into your tank, so you know how to do it safely. And if that doesn't work, we are going to try a different method. We will try the Krylon fusion method. So I have a plan here, and we're going to make it work, guys. And I'm just excited to get it going. I am sad because I really liked this scape, but what we're going to do is we're going to move this skull now, and we're going to replace it with some lava rocks. And I might go buy some more Anubias just to fill in the cracks and crevices, make it look pretty, and hopefully bring this tank back to life. Because another problem is, I noticed after the deep cleaning, my plants were lush and they were vibing and they were doing so good, but now they're like melting, getting clear leaves. So I definitely released something that shouldn't be in the tank by scrubbing that skull. So let's get to work now, and I will, you know, just enjoy the breakdown of this beautiful tank. First things first, we gotta drain some water out. So I'm just gonna put this in here and drain some water out. While we do that, let's see here. We're gonna have to rescape this tank, I think. Ooh. Yeah, guys. Pulling this out, definitely something going on. Definitely something going on. I'm gonna put you there. All right, so we got it rescaped with just rocks. I missed the skull already, but it still looks nice because I love me some black lava rock. We are now filling it up. We are going to do a couple water changes to kind of restart the system and maybe cut and replant some of these plants. And yeah, I'm going to save you the boring stuff and I will show you when it's done. We did it, guys. And I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to give you guys a close-up right now. Definitely no skull anymore, and I definitely missed a couple sections of the super glue, like I didn't cover it up that good, but definitely looks better than it did. I went ahead and trimmed the dwarf sage as best as I could, and the plants in the back, the rotala and the ludwigia, isn't looking too hot right now, but I'm going to leave that for now and kind of let it sort itself out. I do have CO2 on this tank, and then as it starts to grow and get a little bit bigger and thicker, I will just trim it and then replant. Other than that, yeah, this is the new tank, guys, so I hope you enjoy it. I know it's a little murky right now with stuff floating around, but it will clear up by tomorrow once the filter runs for a little while. And yeah, that's me taking off or out the skull. With that, if you haven't subscribed yet and you made it this far to the video, why have you not? See you in the next one.